Hello, Outlanders. We are here on another edition of our podcast, and today is a special one. As you know, Halloween is coming up, and today I have a very special guest. His name is Viktor, and he's the environmental designer on Vigor. So, first of all, Viktor, glad to have you here. If you could just briefly introduce yourself for the people who might not know who you are.
Hey guys, my name is Viktor. I'm one of the environment designers on Vigor, and hopefully I will say something about Halloween today.
Yep. Today we're going to be talking about the Halloween maps and the Halloween sublevel that we implemented for the first time a couple years ago. And since then, it's become kind of like a tradition that with Halloween, we will bring the spookiness in the Outlands as well. First of all, Viktor, my first question to you would be, how long did it actually take to complete the sublevels for Halloween? And that includes for every map.
Yeah, so all the maps, as you said, all the maps have Halloween sublevels for when it's Halloween. The older ones, we were creating the Halloween sublevels at that time for all the levels all the maps we had in the game, and then later when we were adding new maps, then subsequently we created the later Halloween sublevels for them. If I am talking about like a single map to create a Halloween setting for it, it's for a single map it's usually like couple hours, maybe one day for the map. But yeah, like lately we were adding Halloween for Miran, so I have that in some recent memory, but yeah, for all the maps it was some time ago.
Okay, so basically, like, does it go hand in hand with creating a new map? So like, is it always on the back of your mind? Like, for example, if you're working on a new map, is it always on the back of your mind, oh man, like I gotta make sure that this is also ready for Halloween and where I'm gonna put the stuff and the assets?
Yeah, that would be super cool, but it's not really that high level planning for Halloween. It's sort of it basically was created as a add-on sort of afterthought. But once the level is sort of done, tested, polished, then we are like, oh, we need to do Halloween also.
We need to make the Halloween level as well. Gotta figure that
yeah.
stuff out.
Yeah, that and the Christmas. So yeah, like basically, and also it needs to be done in the latest stage of the development, because we need to make sure it doesn't collide with any other game modes we have on that map, for example, and stuff like that.
So you need to take into account that this map is also used for elimination, that it's also used for shootout, and you need to make sure that this specific part of the map that is used for that specific game mode needs to be also like polished and ready for Halloween assets to be put in there, right?
Yes, definitely. And like make sure if there are some changes between the game modes, that the decorations don't clip into anything like that's not there, because the Halloween sublevel is just one for the map, and we are not switching between the game modes for different Halloween setup.
Yeah, I see. So for you, what was the most difficult part when you started doing these sublevels?
Well, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But on some maps, when there are not many settlements, like Fjellkanten, let's say, it's like, yeah, who would be decorating and what would be decorated like here in the mountains? Just
we need some random pumpkins in the middle of
somebody
nowhere.
Just was walking the trail and just decided, I have a pumpkin with me, let's carve it. It needs to have some thought behind it, but it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
Okay, it's interesting to mention that it's not just a simple let's just add pumpkins everywhere. Yeah, so like there needs to be a purpose behind where they are located and why, right?
Right. It's like it makes sense. It's around houses or some structures, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
where people would actually probably spend a little time maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's like a visual sort of just a nice composition, if you will.
Yeah.
We just pick some places we like and sort of decorate them a bit
Mm-hmm.
more. So it's yeah, as I said, just decorating basically. So
Yeah, well, that's really cool. Um, and what would you say was the most fun part when doing these sublevels?
yeah, like with the sort of decorating the nicer places or some interesting places. Sometimes we try to create, even with the pumpkin heads, some nice composition. I remember we had a really nice sort of screenshot picture
Mm-hmm.
of few pumpkins together on a pier on the lake
Okay,
in
that's nice.
Miren, and we had the moon in the background, and it looked super cool. But we had to rotate the nighttime skybox, let's
Uh-huh.
say. So
Uh-huh.
so the moon is no longer like aligned perfectly with the composition, but it still looks good.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Question: are there pumpkins in the minefield?
Uh, I think there might be some, but as I said, like we are trying to keep to it's mostly around houses
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. I have to admit I wasn't doing specifically the pumpkins on Miren, but
Mm-hmm.
there might be some.
It would be
I don't want to say. I'm not sure.
it would be nice if they like as a distraction, you kind of like see the pumpkins there and it's like, oh, let me see the pumpkins, and then boom.
Yeah,
That would be a fun little trap, actually. Like if somebody intentionally would put pumpkins in a minefield just to trick out somebody, so they would step into the landmines.
Yeah, we're generally just like that, luring players into the minefields with loot and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw one there.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out for that one. Moving on. One question that I have for you is if you could add anything else to the Halloween sublevel, what would it be?
Maybe make it a bit more scarier. We were thinking some time ago about adding, more of the scarecrows, like not just the pumpkin head, but the complete scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
Would be weird with the glowing pumpkin head with the candle inside. It's a bit of a fire hazard on a scarecrow.
Yeah, we.
Made of hay, but yeah, we don't need to go with that logic too far. But yeah, maybe some bloody pentagram decal somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
like
some more sounds, some more scary sounds. There are some.
yes, that's true. We do have some like these like scary witch like laughs somewhere in the Outlands, like, and I do think if we could have like some more like audio cues that would trigger sometime you open a door or like when you enter a house and you would just get these like jump scares somehow. That would be cool. From audio cues or maybe like a visual. So moving on, we've been talking about the Halloween sublevel, right? And some people from the community might know that we also have a Christmas sublevel where we decorate the shelter and the Outlands in more Christmassy assets and like more festive and all of that. Now, my question to you, Victor, is if it was up to you, yeah,
Mm.
what other sublevel would you like to create?
It's an interesting question. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe some April Fools sublevel. I know it's just for one day, but
Uh huh.
switch up some things in the map. do some gentle trolling with, remove some buildings, move them elsewhere. I don't know. Maybe something like that could be done.
I could see that being quite spicy, actually. If we did it for just one day as an April Fool's, yeah, I can see how it could go with the community. I think it would be a fun thing.
And it could be like something like really wacky and stuff, like, I don't know, two churches on Fjellkanten right next to each other. I don't know, like something.
Oh, that would be awesome. Or like right across from each other, like opposite.
Oh,
yeah.
Could be anything for one day, as I'm thinking about it, I'm imagining the sublevels and stuff, how it would be done. Yeah, it's.
But April Fools is really interesting, and it can be like really out of the box, with some of the stuff. You can go really crazy and actually get away with it because it is April Fools. Awesome. So moving on, I'd like to ask you, which map was the most difficult for you to customize for Halloween and create the sublevel? Now, I know you mentioned like maps that are mostly empty, like Fjellkanten, that don't have much of like buildings and like stuff that you can build off of. But do you have like personally a specific map that just like it's in your head and like, oh man, this map just like it was so hard to create that level for it?
Yeah, as I said, maps that don't have many settlements, or like places that somebody would actually like take it as their home or something and decorate it. Like, yeah, of course, Fjellkanten, Miren. Yeah, it's those maps that do not really lend themselves to it very easily. But I really like Halloween on Aniken, let's say, like visually, it really looks good in the snow and with the crazy sky. But Aniken especially was rough because it has the elimination mode, and the elimination mode is like quite different from encounter mode. A lot of stuff is moved, replaced, and it's a mess. And the pumpkins, like, we placed them, it was done, it's fine, slipped our mind for a little bit, and then sometime later we miraculously found out that some of the pumpkins are just levitating in the air somewhere. And I was like, why is that? Of course, the lighthouse on Aniken is in a different spot when in encounter, or in elimination it's like moved few meters.
Right.
And I just didn't notice, like the pumpkins are on the other one, and if you're actually playing elimination and you look up, like they're
like levitating.
And it's not the only instance. Like, there were few other places specifically on Aniken where I was like, dude, it's pumpkins everywhere and all in the wrong places. It was rough to make sure it fits correctly everywhere. So.
And is Aniken like one of the maps that have been changed a lot for elimination?
Yeah, there is quite a big difference in like the layouts and details, and there are whole new rock formations appear when you playing elimination mode. So
yeah, so it was super customized just for elimination.
Super customized, and it was basically it was too easy to overlook some things. And
makes sense.
So yeah, it was being fixed on several occasions like that.
Well, to be fair, like levitating pumpkins just add to the atmosphere of Halloween.
Scary, right?
I mean it could be like the case, it's 50-50. Like, do we leave them there like this, or do we just like actually fix it? Because like some people, I think, wouldn't mind a few levitating pumpkins. It just adds to the atmosphere and the creepiness of the season,
I need to remember that for the next time.
If it's about levitating pumpkins, maybe just like let them be, like
adding to
it's Halloween.
I'm adding to the spookiness, right?
Yeah, adding to the spookiness. That's right. And what would you say as a last question, what would you say is your favorite Halloween map?
Well, the Anakin, it just looks so good. Yeah, it's an Anakin.
Anakin.
I just like the combination of the pumpkin heads with the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, the Northern Lights, the snow, it just,
Yeah,
yeah.
and like the pumpkins, we have with the pumpkin heads, we always have like a dim point light
Mm-hmm.
in front of them, and as we're trying to not have too many light sources in the map, like we are grouping some of them together, you know, to create these little compositions.
Right.
And they all share this one light source, and like the the warm glow of the candle with the sky, with the snow. I just like the visuals of that.
Well, I can definitely see that happening. Like that kind of a visual is definitely very, very like awe-inspiring, and it just like it sits so nicely. You know, the Northern Lights with those pumpkins, the lighting, the snow. It's warm, cozy, but creepy at the same time, right? And one last question that I just thought of, and I just wanted to ask it. Did it ever cross your mind as a prank or as like, you know, just like, screw it, let's try it? Did you ever try to make like a giant pumpkin and just place it in the middle of a map? For example, like I can imagine on Kirsten, yeah, on the dam, just make a pumpkin as big as the dam itself and just like place it there for, you know, for shits and giggles, you know.
Yeah, the results of radiation, right?
We could say it is.
Yeah.
We could justify it like this, definitely.
Yeah,
one giant ass pumpkin. Yeah.
I didn't think about it. Thing is, we scale them differently, so they look like, you know, like real. You know, some of them are bigger, some smaller. We like could scale them a bit more. As I'm thinking about it, we don't have like these record-breaking pumpkins that, you know, should sometimes a bit
some weigh like, I don't know, 50 kilos or something, you know, freaks of nature.
At some point they would maybe, you know, start to lose some of their visual quality. When you scale it 100 times, it's maybe will start to look a bit you know, angular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember specifically when I think it was on Fiskefabrik when I was doing something, and I edit or I have some misclick, something like that, and there's this excavator in game, like the big yellow one, and for some reason it got scaled like thousands of times, and it was not like a skyscraper. It was much bigger than it was, like a kilometer tall.
Oh my god.
And in all this, and I didn't notice. I was working in the map, and then I looked around, and it really scared me, like the proportions, like placing something this unbelievably big in the map, when it, you know,
when you scale it to the max.
It's something about it is really scary. Just adding, you know, a chair that's all of a sudden, you know, kilometer high, like it's weird that to, you know, to look around it. Might work with the pumpkin as well.
All right, so that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you very, very much, Viktor, for stopping by and having this chat with us today.
It was a pleasure.
We hope that you guys enjoyed this little session of ours where we got to talk about the Halloween sublevel. We hope that you found it interesting, maybe a little bit informative, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then, see you in the Outlands.
Yeah, thanks for listening. See ya.